We are in a golden age. I believe this is part of history, and we will see 10 years, 100 years from now that we'll realize that this was a golden age for technology and space tech. And one of the companies we've been watching is BlackSky. BlackSky has surged up to $28 a share. It was leading our positions that we had open here in the last month. So we entered back down here around $13. We saw it surge to 28 bucks before getting rejected. So we're going to break this down. We started covering BlackSky into this year. I really didn't see it as valuable till we saw this big pullback, and we started to cover it here into the summer. And at the beginning of the year, we started to see it push into this $10 range, as high as $21 in February before the greater market sell-off down until April, and we saw it push up here. Now we see it start to kick back up into this $28 range over the last really month and a half here, and into this $28.85 range, we see it get rejected. Now, BlackSky is a market cap of about 750 million, so they do fluctuate very fast. They're a smaller company, but they have some interesting reasons why I would see them as a top space tech company when it comes to their tech. They have this AI system that allows them to deploy for different defense sectors of the government, different international defense contracts that they've secured with other governments worldwide and internationally, for being able to visualize things in real time down on Earth, how things are moving. We're talking about the maybe it could be the ships in this case. That's a big key. Maybe those are oil tankers. Don't really know. Could be AI driven. That is their main focus, AI driven. And they have these Gen 3 satellites that launch that can recognize cars down on Earth, recognize airplanes as they're leaving to and from airports, or heat signatures. And it's very much AI enabled. They focus on their AI product. And you can even see their Gen 3 imagery here. Very, very good images, super high quality. And when we were able to talk to the company when I went to the conference at the Space Symposium sponsored by SpaceX, which is a really good event. We even got our media pass, like $2,500 for free, because we got the YouTube channel and stuff like that. And thank you guys so much. Very grateful for that opportunity that we're able to make that happen. But you can just see some of the contracts that they've gotten. There's quite a few different orders in the millions of dollars. They have some new missions that have been successful over with Rocket Lab recently. If you take a look at Rocket Lab, you go straight to the company. Rocket Lab launches rockets, but they are end-to-end, so they build all of their technology for the solar cells, for the semiconductors, for their software, and everything else. But they also build carbon composite makeups of their rockets, which is innovative as well. It's not steel, and they end up saving money not on the purchasing, it is more expensive than steel, but on the payloads, as they can launch easier because their rockets are lighter. But anyway, we get into the recent missions that they've had, and they launched this mission, Rocket Lab, back in what was early June 3rd. They launched this Launch Complex 1. It's called Full Stream Ahead with BlackSky, and it was a launch of their Gen 3 satellites. And they launched them up into space here, mid-inclination circular 470 kilometer orbit, where it joined the remainder of the company's constellation, delivering very high resolution imagery and AI-enabled analytics for daily intelligence operations. And so with BlackSky, you kind of look at that news that's been happening with these Gen 3 satellites. Then we kind of see maybe their earnings cook up. Their revenue quarter over quarter has been increasing for the most part. We see it start to increase here. Annually, their revenues have been increasing, but not seeing their net income increasingly negative. It's actually held pretty disciplined. In fact, it seems that when we look at their balance sheet, they're holding more total assets than liabilities. Liabilities a little bit high, but definitely looking pretty good for what is just a $750 million company. I mean, you could compare them to that of, for example, Big Bear. Big Bear is getting a lot of momentum around their AI analytics. Not so much the part where they're they're working into space. But if you go to Big Bear, and let's say we were to kind of compare, I guess, the financials in Big Bear AI. So this is Big Bear stock here, and you look at the balance sheet. So Big Bear, let's just start up here. Big Bear is about 2.3 billion, and they're trading right now at $7.95. So $2.3 billion market cap. And Black Sky here is at 750 million. So less than half, basically, or you could call it really a third of Big Bear's market cap. And then you look at the news, both have pretty good amounts of hype. You see a recent correction with Black Sky. But when you look at the quarterly, for example, see revenue around 30 million to 40 million. It's kind of the same deal here over. Definitely Big Bear has about $10 million more in revenue per quarter. But when you look at the balance sheet, kind of same deal. You see pretty similar in that they're both disciplined. But total assets, for example, you can see Black Sky is back really where Big Bear was a while ago. They have their total assets here for Big Bear is looking pretty good, up 400 million. Total liabilities 200 million. So I compare the two because if you look, the liabilities that Black Sky has really the same amount as Big Bear, 196 versus 198. Their total assets on Black Sky, they're trying to increase as it is increasing here, but they're trying to get it back up, I imagine, to that 305 million or plus. So some good comparisons, kind of comparing to a company. I guess Big Bear has surged a little bit ahead of their earnings. So if they come out with good earnings, this could all change, and they could totally much more valuations could increase Big Bear, and we could see it, be justified even more. But I'll also, on the other hand, it's kind of like a almost an over analyzation because Black Sky also does, in my eyes, look very undervalued. So undervalued in that they're at $750 million market cap with similar financials there. Not super close, but pretty close. About within 20% of the financials, but their market cap is much smaller. So from a valuation standpoint and seeing what's been growing for the company, we could see that good for Black Sky. Now, Black Sky, I think we have some drawings here. We started getting into them back down here around $13, but we saw them surge in this very consistent uptrend up to $28 a share. And they broke out of some previous levels. You can kind of see this trend right here. It was very consistent. And you can see they were at this previous resistance. Is what they just sold down to and kind of bounced. And they broke pattern here. But there's a support here now at about $22, and they're at $23.95. That's where they recently bounced. And then there's also a resistance level right here. It's a previous resistance and support at about $24.85 or $25, which we could see it now consolidate between. You see it kind of bounce with a big dip there, but overall we're seeing it kind of hold between those levels. If it can hold above that 200-day moving average, that green line, and continue, we've seen dips like this on Black Sky before, and we're seeing, hey, can we get this not only recovery up into here, which is about a 5% increase up into that $25 range, but maybe get up into those highs again, that $26 range. Is it possible? I think it's possible, but what we got to watch too is this level at $22. If we see that sell down kick in on the near term, it could be a 15% dip. As far as long-term positions with Black Sky, we just entered about a month and a half ago. I think I'll just continue to hold there. So we're up 84%. The near term, really just watching these $22 levels and this $25 level to see if maybe we get a trade in. If we see it break out on Monday, maybe this is the next kind of bull run. If we see the market generally sell off and everything's selling off, then we probably won't enter any trades, or at least look for a validation again on that $22 price point, because that would be a potential 10% swing back up into that $24 range. So that's kind of levels we're watching with Black Sky. We really like the developments of their AI with their Gen 3. Seeing them work with Rocket Lab is always good. And then also seeing the financials stay pretty disciplined and heat up. What you got to watch out is there's a lot of articles, a lot of hype. We don't really do that. We go directly to, if you go to the news on the company, that's going to be your best spot. to really find the best news. Not even this part, but actually the press releases. That's going to be a good spot. They have some good announcements. There's a $24 million contract. There's a multi-million dollar contract there. There's the Rocket Lab. I think they're gonna go with Rocket Lab more as well. So I think a lot of value for the company to continue to grow, and we're just gonna see how they deliver to the marketplace here in the near term. And if you want to know why we're kind of watching it too, it's going to be the AI analytics. The AI analytics separates them. Obviously, you have rocket companies, you have the satellites, the different hardwares, but with BlackSky focusing more on these AI analytics with super close kind of monitoring of maybe ports or airports or things like that. I think that's a really valuable thing for defense companies, and most likely why we'd see them continue to build some momentum. Even tracking cars, that is why we're going to watch them, and also see if they can continue. They've been on a really nice trend recently, if they can continue there. So if you want to know how to trade BlackSky in the near term, we recently took a position about 84% up so far, and how we identify these early stage companies in space, AI, and quantum, then I would encourage you to check the second link in the description. We have a new model there actually kind of for stock mates. But if you want to get lifetime access for the lifetime access to the daily live sessions, along with our targets that we have each week for this earnings, as well as different investor insights, and be able to get when they're reporting, kind of what companies are reporting, pre-market, after hours, what to be watching along with the targets. Again, it's the second link in the description, and I would love to be there with you on market open at 6:30 a.m. Thanks so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.